You
fact,
know,
no matter of fact, let's get into Bud now, because speaking of Bud, if we want to talk about him ducking, is he ducking Boots?
no,
He's not ducking
there's no
Ennis.
money in Boots. No,
I'm
he's not
saying
bugging
you,
Boots in it.
but you fight
Because
right
you know
now. What
why?
I'm saying is he has nothing. He has nothing in place right now. He has no fights in place.
Mm-hmm.
He has no
Mm-hmm.
huge fight set up that would generate him a
Mm-hmm.
big check. Why not fight? And I understand what you're saying, because Boots is high risk, low reward fighter. He's not going to give
Very
you a
much
big
so.
check, and he's going to be at risk of beating Crawford. But I think that he can beat Crawford, if I'm being
I
honest.
think that Bud is taking the Canelo approach with Benavidez. He sees that the person is young and up and coming. I'm not going to take the risk of possibly beating you, or you beating me, or me beating you and destroying your whole career. We got your whole career ahead of you.
Well,
So I think with that, I think that Bud is like, yeah, I heard it all before, but really, it doesn't. It's not. It's not gonna. It's not gonna sell. It's not pay per view. It's not. It's not gonna do numbers. He's at the twilight of his career, like Canelo. They both are 35, where they want to make some money.
and I think he should cherry pick. I think of all people, Bud has deserved the right to get these big fights, because just like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been ducked pretty much most of his career too. A lot of people weren't interested in fighting Crawford because they didn't want to take that L, you know.
And
So
because of his crooked trainer, who was sitting
yeah,
there trying to protect all the other fighters and trying to negotiate deals and trying to get things. It was just his trainer. His was it Al? No, it's not Al Heyman. It's
I don't know who he was with before.
yeah, he was with, but I know he sued him because he was the same trainer that he was the same manager that managed Floyd Mayweather, where Floyd Mayweather bought out his contract with him.
That's Al Heyman then.
That's not Al Heyman.
Or not Al Heyman, but not Al Heyman. I'm sorry, I always get those confused. Uh, what is his name? The white dude.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't think of his name right now.
But the whole thing is, he did the same thing to Terence Crawford what he did to Floyd, and so now Terence Crawford he has a cherry pick and he's playing catch up because now he gets to fight the best, but
Bob
now the
Arum.
best don't want to fight him.
Bob
Bob
Arum.
Arum, yeah, Bob Arum screwed him really, totally,
Yeah, but yeah,
really messed
and
him over.
like we said though, I think he deserves at this point. I think he deserves a big check, and I think he's 35, 36. Like you got a few years left in boxing, which means probably 6, 7 more fights, and you're gonna want them to
He's never
count
going
for
to catch
something.
Floyd.
You said what?
Right, he's never going to catch Floyd. He's
No,
never
he
going to catch
can't. Now
Floyd.
with 10 fights, unless he cherry pick fights and start, knocking down dudes quickly, it's gonna be hard to have 10
Mm-hmm.
more fights within the time frame he got left in boxing.
Right,
So
very much so.
like if he's not, we all know he's not fighting Errol Spence, who's hurt again,
Mm-hmm.
who was actually hurt during
I
their
think he's
fight.
tired.
All right, we'll see if he can come back. But who would be left for him for Bud?
That's a good
So
question.
so you got Tim Tszyu, who's fighting
Keith Thurman.
Keith
Keith
Thurman.
Thurman.
He could fight the winner of those two. Technically,
Yeah, but
would be a
the
decent
whole thing
fight.
is the key word decent, right? Focus on
Yeah.
that word decent. Nobody really would care for those fights. The
Well,
whole thing
Tim
is he
Tszyu.
wants some box office. He want to get paid.
All right, then. So what about then? You could bring up a Charlo. He could fight. Now remember, he's not
Yeah,
gonna want every fight to be a blockbuster fight, because he's
that's
gonna
true.
want to get some tune-up fights in between there. So I would assume he's gonna be trying to fight hopefully twice a year. You know, one name
Mm-hmm.
that intrigues me, because I know this dude gains weight later in fights, but Devin Haney comes to mind. And he's traditionally a smaller fighter, but it's fighters that a lot of times want him to have a weight clause in his contract. because how much bigger he gets and walks around in weight. So I wonder if someone like Bud Crawford would be somebody that he could meet at a maybe even possibly at a catch weight.
No.
You think he's
I
too
would
big?
say that's too big. That's too
I'm
big,
telling
too
you. But
skillful.
okay, but let's say that Devin Haney walks around water like he fights at 140. Now let's factor that in. But if he's walking around at 170, 168, 170, why couldn't he meet at a catch weight?
That's a good question.
I think it's possible. I think it's highly possible that they can
You know
meet
what? You're actually right. That would make some money. That would generate money. That would make some money. But I don't think his father, Bill Haney, I don't think he would risk his son's career with that.
I don't think so
When
either.
you talk about,
I think he's being
Bill Haney's not going to say no.
No, and keeping it real, Haney don't have strong hands. So
No, he don't.
I kind of feel like Crawford will walk through him.
He knocked down that one dude. He said he didn't hit hard. Then after the fight, guess what he said? Was it Pregus? What was his name?
Oh, Prograis.
The one boxer.
Yeah, Prograis.
Yeah, he said that motherfucker hits hard. He said.
Well, yeah, I mean, but case in point.
Huh?
But that's my point. Like Haney doesn't have strong hands. He's not known for knocking people out, and he's already usually the bigger fighter. Is my point. So when he's fighting somebody that's equally big, he may get his back dirty fighting somebody like Crawford.
But what Progress said that motherfucker hits hard.
Oh, Progress said that he hits hard.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
He said that.
So,
at the conference,
not hard enough
after
to
the press
knock him
conference. Yeah, he said at the press conference, that motherfucker hits hard, and I think the reason why he hits not hard now because 140 is his true weight. When he was doing that weight drainage, that was taking away a lot of his power. Now that he's comfortable with his weight, he can sit down on his punch better, right? And he can actually execute.
But,
so it's coming from the boxer. The boxer said it. It wasn't. Nobody else met. He said that motherfucker hits hard. Don't let that fucking deceive you. Because remember, he dropped Progress.
Yeah, but he didn't knock him out. I just don't. I think that with kind of circling back to Bud, I don't think when you start looking at welterweight. Junior welterweight, just fighters around his weight class. It's not a lot of pickings for it to be some mega fight. So he's either going to have to make.
Isn't there there's a Mexican fighter under De La Hoya. I forgot his name.
Not Ryan Garcia.
Not Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is going to fight David Haney. That's a 50-50. But
no, I don't think Ryan Garcia.
I forgot the guy named Mugay or something like that. I forgot his name. He has another fighter that's around.
Wait, are you? You're not talking about Munguia.
Yeah,
Munguia. He may fight. Fight Canelo.
Oh wow.
Maybe he's one of the listed, and which is, they're already calling it a bit of a contradiction because I think Canelo said he's not fighting any Mexican fighters. He kind of made that claim, but here we are, So, but
that'll be a good fight.
Yeah, I don't know what's left for Bud to do at this point.
Bud needs to just really, like you said, pick any fighter to fight. Who cares? Stay busy, stay active. You only got possibly a window of 2 years left. Now it's time to cherry pick, right? It's time to cherry pick. Forget all that bull crap. Go in, pick your fighters. You got 2 years left possibly to fight. No one can say that you can fight like Floyd at up to 40. We don't know if that's possible. You may get injured. So right now, take your time, cherry pick your fighters. You don't drink, you don't smoke. You take good care of your body. You're in a prime condition where you can actually possibly eclipse Floyd if you pick the right fighters and you get under the right management. That's the big issue. That he's not under any management at all. So therefore, he's negotiating all his deals.